Welcome to What's a Beautiful Life Anyway? I'm your host, Jill Bennett. This is the channel that shares ideas to help you live your best life, because life can be beautiful if you live consciously. Welcome to this episode of What's a Beautiful Life Anyway? I'm your host, Jill Bennett, and I'm so delighted today to have with me Seona Gunn Kelly. Hi, Seona.
Hello, hi Jill.
Oh, it's so lovely to have you here. Now, Seona is a very busy mum. She is a chiropractor. She is the founder of a zero waste shop in St Ives, Cambridgeshire, and could have a future in politics, as she's standing for the Green Party in the district council elections in May. So you are a very, very busy mum, Seona. Let's start by talking about a zero waste shop. What's a zero waste shop?
Well, obviously we have a lot of pollution from plastic. We have a lot of pollution from just generally having to go and recycle lots of things, and a lot of the recycled stuff ends up in landfill, and then that's what blows into oceans, and we kind of have this big cycle of pollution, not just from bad sort of eco-friendly products, but also from the plastics that we see all the time. You know, David Attenborough is brilliant at like bringing all of these things to our attention. So with a zero waste shop, there shouldn't be any packaging or plastic packaging that would then create more pollution. And so the things that I have in my shop are 20-litre containers of like fabric conditioner or laundry detergent, washing up liquid. I have lots of shampoos and conditioners. So you can bring your plastic bottle, which will be around for at least 100 years, bring it down to the shop and just keep refilling it, because that vessel is going to be multi-purpose forever. And when you put it in recycling, you can't guarantee it's going to get recycled. So that's why zero waste shops are there, to help you, so that you don't have to go into a supermarket and buy another plastic bottle and another plastic bottle.
And to get started, people can just keep the plastic bottle they've got from their last laundry detergent or whatever and take it down and fill it, can't they?
Exactly. And the whole point is to try and keep plastic out of recycling.
Yeah.
So there are certain plastics that are sought after by certain industries, so they can get recycled. But often you can only recycle plastic one or two times before it becomes redundant anyway. So the longer you keep hold of your plastic, the safer it is for the environment. And the other thing is that I do have a very amazing sister, Christy, but she likes everything in the right place. So she would be the sort of person that came and bought all the nice glass bottles and then refilled all the glass bottles, so everything looked uniform and nice. Yeah. Whereas I'm the sort of person that I've still got a washing up bottle on my side, which I've had for 3 years, for instance. So it's catering for everybody. It's not just the people that want to keep their plastic bottles. If you want to just throw that final plastic bottle away and then get your pretty bottles, that's also okay, because you're no longer then buying more plastic.
Yeah. No, I think that's great. And I'm like your sister. I love the idea of having it all glass. And the skincare that I sell is now all the new stuff is all being put into glass jars, which are recyclable. Our shampoos are in aluminium, so they're more easily recycled. And any plastic tops can be returned to the company, and they're using them to make things like park benches and children's play equipment. So there are companies out there that become B certified corporations and things, and have those long-term sustainability plans, which are really great for the environment too.
Exactly, yeah.
Fantastic. So I've just realized I'm not timing us, which is, we could just talk for hours on this topic. We'll just quickly write down a number. Okay, so we now know what a zero waste shop is. What made you start one?
Well, my nearest zero waste shop, actually, what I'm going to say now is not actually the truth. So my nearest zero waste shop, I thought, was St Neots, which is about 8 or 9 mile drive from here, or Cambridge, which is another kind of 8-9 mile drive in the other direction.
Yeah.
So I was being very diligent and at the weekends going and doing my refills. But I just felt like I was lucky enough to get the bounce back loan, and it helped me get my business through the first part of COVID where we were completely shut down. I wasn't earning anything, and I had a bit of money left over, and I just thought, I'm always the sort of person that will just have a punt at something, just have a go and see. And I just spent the money on shelving and loads of 20-litre containers, and just said, look, I'm open, it's brilliant. And I love being a shopkeeper. I feel like I maybe missed a vocation when I was younger, to, you know, take people's money for things.
Yeah.
And I know I do as a chiropractor, but actually it's a really different thing when somebody comes and looks around your shop and chooses something that you have kind of put there especially maybe for them, and then they cross your palm with silver for it. It's a really, I really love that feeling. And yeah, I've turned into a bit of a little girl in my shop, really.
I was just going to say, it's a bit like going back to our childhood when I used to love playing shop. So
yeah, it is. It really is. I'm always amazed that people walk through the door and actually buy my things. It's like, oh my goodness.
yeah.
I don't think I got many customers as a child coming to my shop. So it's like,
yeah, we relied on our parents and our siblings, didn't we, in those days?
yeah, exactly. Please come to my shop, please. That's kind of do that now, but as an adult, but yeah.
So at the moment, you're running this zero waste shop in your waiting room of your chiropractic.
In my waiting room for my chiropractic business, yeah.
But there's some great plans ahead, aren't there?
Yeah, so I have a very good friend, Anna, who runs a takeaway coffee shop in St Ives, and we are joining forces, and we're going to be an eco cafe, which is awesome. And then there's enough room to put my treatment room plus 1 or 2 others at the back, so it will still be a chiropractic plus shop plus. And also I love juicing, so we're going to put a juice bar in as well as a coffee shop. So I've got I'm just honing my skills on which juices that I'm going to put in as well. So that's really exciting.
Very exciting. I'm going to have a trip to Cambridgeshire, I think, when I'm next in the UK, so that I can come and visit you, have a juice and a coffee. It's just wonderful.
Yeah, no, we're really, really excited about it. So yeah, moving forward.
No, it sounds amazing, and it's such a good thing to do. In our household, we are pretty good at recycling. In Mallorca, where I live part of the year, they're not very good at recycling, and the recycling bins there aren't many of them, but they are getting better. So we're hoping that what we put in them is being recycled, and we're all pushed along nicely by my 22-year-old daughter, who's about to graduate with a degree in wildlife conservation.
Okay, brilliant.
So she's very much into anything to do with conservation and sustainability. So it's fabulous.
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk a little bit about politics then. How on earth did it come about that you would represent the Green Party?
Well, a couple of years ago, it was just a call out of the blue, actually, from the local sort of secretary for the Green Party. And they just phoned me up. I don't know how many other people they phoned before they phoned me, but they phoned me up and said, we really need somebody as a paper candidate so to give people an option to vote Green. We haven't got an option in the area. Would you be the name on the paper? And I just went, yeah. And they went, really? I went, yeah, I'll do it. I don't know how many people they called before. So yeah, so what the Green Party are doing is everywhere. They're putting people's names down who are part of I'm a Green Party member, obviously. And they're putting people's names down to see where there's enthusiasm for the Green Party, and then they will put finance behind that seat to kind of make it a real thing. So this will be my second year I run for the district elections without really running. I don't have to do canvassing and stuff. So yes, it's exciting, but not sort of like getting too excited about it, because I have no idea really. If I was out canvassing, I might have some more guts about it. But I'm just excited to be part of the process, really, and to give people options.
Yeah. And more and more people are aware of all this stuff now. You only have to look at the weather. We've had the worst winter in 30 years in Mallorca and had frost, which is unheard of. Um, so I think everyone is so much more aware. I think you're going to tip over the post this time, so that next time you're going to have to get us all into your
Yeah.
volunteers.
But I also have to learn a little bit more around the politics of it. So really, I'm just kind of I'm very much obviously into zero waste and sustainability, and a lot of that comes from trying to teach my son to be proactive. Don't follow people. Be the person in front doing things, because you've got the strength and the power to do it.
Yeah.
As long as you put your mind to it. And that's where a lot of the shock came from. It's like, there isn't a solution here. I'm going to show Isaac, if you want a solution, you have to make it happen. You can't just wait for somebody else to come along and do it. And it's the same with the Green Party, really. I if there isn't another option, yeah, sure, I will step in and be that option. But if I actually get into the district election, I have to actually learn policy and stuff. And that's not, I might get a bit bogged down by that, because I like doing all the, the frilly stuff and things, but I wasn't very good at history and literature and stuff at school. So,
well, I think if you're the candidate, the nominated candidate, you have a team.
Yeah, definitely.
At the end of the day, it's the civil servants who are suggesting policies and writing everything for you, and you're just the figurehead that's saying yes or no to whatever it is. So yeah, I think the Green Party should definitely become a viable option to take over as government, because let's face it, we're all a bit sick of the main two parties and what they have to offer.
I know, and it's really positive, because the district elections are different all around the country, so there are different timings, and there's loads of Greens winning district elections at the moment. So on the Green Party, it's like another seat, another seat, another seat, and the tide is definitely on the turn. People want change. They don't want a government that says, oh, in 4 years' time we'll change this, because they know that in 8 years' time we're past the point of no return, and we can't have a government that's prepared to change something in a couple of years' time. It has to be now, and it has to be really decisive, and it has to be people that are prepared to really put themselves out there, and be disliked, because that's what a lot of the what they called, the people that are gluing themselves to the road in front of the lorries. I can't remember what they're called.
The
Extinction, the Extinction Rebellion. And it's making people really upset and really uncomfortable. But those people are recognizing that there's a problem now.
Yeah. And isn't it amazing that they are all so young? Or most
they are
of them
young,
are very
but that's
young.
because this is going to be their world, right? There's a certain number, you get persons past a certain age, and yes, you do worry about your grandchildren, but maybe not enough. Or what your great grandchildren are going to be doing. And I love that in schools now there's an awful lot of sustainability taught to kids, and there's an awful lot of on recycling. But the thing is, recycling doesn't really work, so they're going to have to rethink that a little bit. But yes, I take my hats off to these people that actually have take time out of their day, their weeks, out of their years to go and do those sorts of things, to make people sit up and think. It's amazing.
No, it is amazing. My daughter is part of a sustainability, I think they're called the Working Party or something, at university, and they were all told to put into groups to do projects, and she got a runners-up prize for her project.
Oh, brilliant.
And implemented a card for the cafeterias on campus to encourage people to eat vegan meals. And every time they buy a vegan meal, they get their card stamped, and after so many, they get a free meal.
That's awesome. That is awesome. That's something I've done recently as well. I'm not a full vegan. I still eat prawns and eggs, but I've not had any dairy since January, which I thought was going to be tough, actually, but I watched one too many videos about the dairy industry, and then it just became easy.
I think when I stopped eating dairy, the hardest thing at first is cheese. Milk, no. There's
Yeah.
some nice vegan butters now as well.
Yeah, there
But
really is.
it was the cheese, and there are a couple of vegan cheeses now, depending on where you are, that actually taste quite nice. So
Yeah.
there's
Yeah, I just
lots of.
had some BioLife for lunch, so yeah.
Yes, I had
Yeah.
BioLite for lunch. Yeah,
Yeah.
their cream one, which is lovely, which is really good. Oh, well, we
Love
wish you,
BioLife.
yeah, and their butter as well.
And sponsored by.
We'll have to speak to them about that, won't we? A future episode they can
Yeah.
sponsor. Well, we wish you the very, very best of luck in those elections. I think it's
Thank you.
wonderful, wonderful. And yeah, everyone out there should be encouraging their children to think about this. One thing that annoys me here, I mean, I love living in Mallorca, but when you go down country lanes, beautiful country lanes, you're surrounded by mountains and sea, and people throw rubbish out of their car windows, cans and cigarette packets, and we live in a country lane, and honestly, my husband is often going with a bag just and a pair of rubber gloves on and going down and picking up all this rubbish. The same with their dog doo-doos. They never pick it up, and you're walking down a pavement in a shopping area, and you have to be careful where you walk. So yeah, we need to educate them a little bit over here, I think, but that might be a bit
Yeah,
of
and
a
the
way
thing
off.
is that every part of the world is in a different level of education and a different level of understanding.
Yeah.
And I think actually a different level of ignorance, which sounds maybe a little bit harsh, but you can't know something until you know it.
No.
And you can't know something until you want to know it.
Yes.
So I think a lot of the kind of apathy around like recycling and zero waste is because it's hard work, but actually once you've got the processes in place, it's smoother. The worst thing for me has always been my husband. He loves what I do, but it's a bit on the lazy side when it comes to actually doing the same things as I do. So yeah, I had a little tantrum about 3 weeks ago and said, look, I've got these bins, and we've got 5 bins, by the way, which is that's probably a little bit ridiculous. We have a normal bin, we have a recycling bin, we have soft plastics, because the co-op recycles soft plastics now. So all the lids off your soft fruit or whatever, you just put it in the bin and take it up there. We have a cooked food compost bin, and we have a raw food compost bin. And I literally stand over them. They stand and look at me and go, which one is this? And I'm like, okay, is it raw food? Let's think about it. But for me, because it's learned behavior, it's easy for me to see things.
Yeah.
But for them, they're still learning. It's harder. It's a harder process.
Yeah.
But once they've got it, it's going to be super smooth.
Yeah. And it is amazing how they slip up, because I often open the normal waste bin and I see a tea bag in there. Who put a tea bag in the bin?
Well, the tea bag thing is difficult, isn't it? Because unless it specifically says there isn't plastic in the tea bag, there's plastic in the tea bag, and you can't put that then in a compost bin, because the plastic will remain.
Okay,
interesting. So there's only, I think there are 6 or 7 companies that do plastic-free tea bags, and the rest have plastic in them.
I didn't know that.
So once everything else is degraded, you have this little skeletal bit of plastic, which is your tea bag. So actually, Matt uses a certain brand of tea bag, which I don't, because it has plastic in it, and I use a different one, and his has to go in the bin.
Yeah.
And mine goes in the compost.
So Clipper, I think they're recycling.
Clipper are pretty good. Yeah. PG Tips now don't do any, theirs are all good, but Yorkshire Tea still use plastic in theirs, and Matt loves a decaf Yorkshire Tea. I can't get him off it, so. It's
amazing the things that we do, and you're right, we don't know what we don't know.
Exactly.
So I would have assumed all tea bags, other than those that are the fancy ones in the little net packet, I would have thought everything could go in the recycling. Blimey. Okay, well, Seona, we're running out of time, so what I would love you to suggest is, and I'll say to everyone listening, all of the information and links and everything else will be in the show notes. So you do online shopping as well? don't you, for
We do,
your
yeah,
zero waste?
online shopping, not for refills, because that's just a
No.
bit too complicated, but for
Yeah.
all our other products, and we have, I think, 411 products now. So
Wow.
yeah, we have a lot of products.
Yeah. So if people need cotton buds,
Exactly.
those sorts of
We also
things.
do our own skincare range, which is
Ah,
refillable. So yeah, we have like a light facial serum, light face and body cream, cleansing lotion. We sell those
amazing.
washable makeup pads and
Yes,
stuff like
pads.
that. Yeah.
Yes. And
So we
just
have lots of different things on there.
a
Yeah.
word of warning on those, put them together in something to wash them, because my washing machine wouldn't drain the other day, and when I took the filter off, I had one of the reusable makeup
Oh,
pads in there stuck. Yeah.
okay.
So just a word of warning that they
Yeah.
can they can go down, but very easily solved. Maybe you could just give us a little bit of an idea of how people can make a difference, how they can get started if this is all totally new to them.
Yeah. I mean, it's difficult if you don't have a zero waste shop near you, but there are lots of companies now, like the Good Club, do online refills. Um, there are people like Abel and Cole, the Modern Milkman, I think, are doing a lot of refills as well in the local area. And you can just keep your plastic bottles, like you said, go down to your local shop or get somebody to come and do deliveries to you. And that's the best way to get started. And then also just think about, reducing the amount of actual food waste that's going into your bin. Because that's one of the biggest sort of climate change issues, is that we have a lot of methane produced from landfill because we put cooked food, and it decomposes and releases methane. And methane is one of the gases that gets trapped up at the ozone layer, or starts upsetting the ozone layer and stops us from having a really good climate, or the climate being able to control itself.
Yeah.
So one of the big things I would say is to try and put cooked food in your green bin. And you have to have a brown bag. So every time you get a brown bag, just keep it and then fill it up with that. And then rather than putting it in your normal bin, put it in the green bin.
Okay.
If you're in the UK, actually, I don't know what that is
We have
whether you
nothing
have your
here
bin
for
in.
food. No.
Yeah.
And in most areas, so they have the food recycling bin or the food waste bin in lots of
Right.
areas in the UK.
Yeah, no, so we don't have that. We have to put ours into the green bin, which is also for, cutting the grass and dogs and twigs. But yeah, no, that's great if you're saving that, because that is a huge thing.
Yeah.
And then just the last thing I would say is that whatever you're using in the house that's plastic, there is a sustainable version of it. So just look for, next time you buy, always use the thing that you have until it has no more use, because it's wasteful to throw it away and just buy something just for the sake of it. But once it's finished its usefulness, try and recycle it. If it doesn't, you'll just have to throw it in landfill. And then just find the next sustainable thing. So just replace one thing at a time, and don't go overboard, because people get burnout doing this too quickly, too fast. So change one thing, make it stick, and then choose something else to change.
And things like single-use plastic, so straws and things, are an absolute no-no. I don't know even why they sell them anymore. It's ridiculous that they sell them.
Well, unfortunately, obviously, plastics made by the petroleum industry, and so it's quick, easy profit for them. They churn it out as a byproduct of doing what they're doing, and until somebody says blankly, you must not do this, they'll continue to do it.
Yeah. Same as in the skincare industry. Most products will have mineral oil in, which is the waste product from refining crude oil into petrol. And I don't know about you, well, I know you don't want to put it on your face, and I certainly don't put it on my face. So yeah. Seona, it's so great to have you here today. We will post all those links up so people can go online to your shop and start shopping, start to use more sustainable products. And let's all go out of our way to try and make the planet a slightly healthier place. I know it's going to take a long time to make it a healthy planet, but certainly let's start trying to improve things.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you,
Thank
Jill.
you.
It's
Thank
been
you. And
lovely.
good luck again in the elections.
Thank you.
Bye.
Take care.
Thanks so much for listening to this week's show. Check out all the links to the resources mentioned in today's episode and all my freebies in the show notes. See you next time.